This is the WZRD News. A panel of experts advising the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, on the use of the psychedelic Ecstasy, MDMA, for post-traumatic stress disorder found on June 4, 2024, that the available evidence fails to show that the drug is effective or that its benefits outweigh its risks. It represents a major setback for proponents of the drug and its sponsor, Lykos Therapeutics, potentially jeopardizing FDA approval of the treatment. Following public comment and discussion, the panel voted 9-2 that MDMA combination with talk therapy is not effective for treating PTSD. They voted 10-1 that the benefits of MDMA treatment do not outweigh its risks. Remarks during the meeting from FDA staff and members of the advisory panel include uncertainties and gaps in the data, unanswered questions about its potential for abuse, and a lack of evidence supporting the psychological approach used in the therapy sessions. Many members of the panel brought up allegations that have surfaced about possible misconduct and bias in the trials that could have skewed the results. There are only 2 FDA-approved treatments for PTSD, and MDMA would be the first to come on the market in decades. One of the studies showed 67% of participants in the MDMA treatment arm no longer met the diagnostic criteria for PTSD following 3 dosing sessions with MDMA, compared to about 32% in the placebo group who underwent the therapy sessions but did not receive an active drug. While the study took steps to blind study participants, there was considerable discussion around the fact many of those in the study could tell they had received the experimental drug, leading to what is known as functional unblinding, which can ultimately affect the results. Another potential sticking point was the lack of data about how patients experienced the acute effects of the drug, including feelings like euphoria or elevated mood. That data helps inform the FDA's assessments of the drug's abuse potential. While MDMA is currently listed as a Schedule I drug, the agency's review found it has the same abuse potential as a Schedule II stimulant, a category that includes cocaine. About 40% of those enrolled in the MDA study had a history of using it prior to the study. The FDA staff highlighted various issues, including a dropout rate of 25% and that some participants sought therapy and, in some cases, used illicit drugs, including MDMA. Some had taken part in the MDA trials and said they found the medication to be transformative, helping to get better sleep, have better relationships, and live what feels like a completely new life. Some critics said the model of therapy incentivized boundary violations. The majority of those in the study had a history of suicidal ideation in their lifetime, but during the study period, the frequency of these symptoms was comparable between the two groups. There is a well-documented case of two therapists in the phase 2 trials with a participant who said they engaged in inappropriate contact with her while she was under the influence of MDMA. The videos of the two therapists in bed with the participant were made public by a podcast. A report from the Institute for Clinical and Economic Review, a group that evaluates clinical data and drug prices, concluded there was insufficient evidence to assess the overall net benefit of MDMA-assisted therapy after a lengthy investigation into the trial data. Source: NPR, June 4th, 2024.